Maybe we can talk a bit about the relationship between ecology and economy.
We've associated profit or yield with territory, which is mine, and I'm going to take it because my well-being depends on power and money and keeping it away from other people. That's completely unnatural.
In deze special van On Purpose spreek ik met Alan McSmith. Hij organiseert safaris en leadership-programma's waarmee hij groepen de wildernis van Zuid-Afrika inneemt. Door de werking van de ecologische systemen van Afrika te ervaren, gaan deelnemers vaak anders naar zichzelf kijken en anders naar hun rol in de wereld. Waar ik benieuwd naar ben, is wat kunnen we leren van ecologie? Welke inzichten kunnen we gebruiken om ons systeem te veranderen en sterker te maken?
I think my understanding is in context of modern society and industrialized society, it's happened very recently. In evolutionary terms, in ecological terms, it's very recent. But in that time, so much has happened that, in a sense, we've kind of lost our connection to this ecological circuit that we're a part of. So we've stepped outside, and now we're looking in as if we are the manipulators of it.
But the whole idea that we somehow control or are risen above it is delusional.
I believe so. I think we need to separate the difference between progress and damage.
Yeah.
You know, the human animal, the human species has been so focused on advancement, of technological advancement and progress, that we've kind of stepped outside the laws of ecology. And this exchange or transaction of energy, coming back to the source, replenishing the source, is the principle of ecology. And if you step outside those laws, I think there's a time of consequence. I don't think the human animal is very ecologically intelligent, let's put it that way, at replacing the source. Whether we are collecting firewood or water or finance, it's almost in a linear direction. It's just coming, we take, we take, we take, we take, we take a little bit more.
It's extractive, eh?
There's a consumer and a consumer and another consumer and another consumer without this turn back. And I think that's where we're at now, is we realize that, hey, we need to turn the trajectory back.
Yeah.
But how? You know, we've come so far along this path. How do we actually do it?
Isn't that like one of the root causes, that we have grown completely accustomed with the extractive lifestyle?
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at ecosystems, almost every species plays a constructive role in the bigger sphere.
Yes, absolutely. There's no organism that's more important than the other. So there's a balance. There's a harmony in the ecological system, which we are still part of. But I don't think we actually fully recognize that now. The biggest question, well, there are many big questions, but for me the kind of gold star question is how do we get enough movement or enough understanding? There are so many enlightened individuals who understand this. We have to turn the flow back. And it may not be enough. We may have to regenerate what we have damaged. You know, we may have to turn the cycle back to a point where we start again. We're literally rebooting.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? You know, the process of doing it. I believe that people will translate that process into feeling threatened by it. You know, maybe a loss of lifestyle, or maybe a compromise of comfort, or maybe something that's translating into, oh, hang on, I don't want to do that. That's going to cause me some discomfort. And that for me is the biggest
hurdle.
Biggest hurdle.
I think for the last couple of 100 years, we've grown completely accustomed with the delusion that we control nature, that we as a species are more powerful. And I think that we learn now by climate change and biodiversity loss that is not the case.
Yeah.
It freaks us out.
Whether the solution exists at all, if it does, you know, there's over 2 million environmental NGOs in the world. And they're all saying the same thing. They're saying that, hey guys, we're taking instruction from the wrong place. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But too many of them refer to the earth needing saving. We need to save the whales, we need to save the earth, we need to save the oceans. And I think that fundamentally is mistaken, because the earth is not in trouble.
No.
It's going through change.
It's us we have to work with.
It's us, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a bit of a pickle at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
The principles of ecology can suggest to us or teach us that you have to roll with change. So because change will make us uncomfortable or possibly fearful, we will try and modify the environment to maintain our constant, our equilibrium.
I think that is what we're doing.
I think that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're taking the environment is trying to evolve as it should, but we are not only taking from it, but we are preventing it.
Yeah.
And I think that principle of not embracing change is a big hurdle.
But it's also utter destructive, of course, because nature wants, life wants to evolve.
Yeah, ecology is that. Ecology refers to partnerships, and the operating system of everything is partnerships. And the more diverse your partnerships are, the more resistant and more productive the system is. Mm-hmm. And you can compare that to human society. We need as many different thinking people as possible. If all of us thought the same way, can you imagine? I think the world would be a complete disaster. We need different worldviews, and we need different inspirations, and we need to challenge one another to find what the concept of innovation is. So we need to come back to the laws of ecology.
Is there another lesson we can learn, for instance, from nature, from species? For instance, about the subject of possession, because possession, of course, is hugely important in our economy. You're either a producer or a consumer. You either possess the means to produce, or you have to consume them. Yeah. How is that on the African bush? Is there a difference between producers and consumers? Is there a market?
If it's an ecosystem that's in its integrity, if it's wild and if it's maintained and conserved, yes, there's never enough, because we need the consumers to develop the producers.
Also between species?
Yes, intraspecific competition between lions and leopards, and again they're in the business of killing. The profit is the same.
Yeah,
but a leopard will take its profit up in a tree to keep it away from its competitors, and lions will consume the profit on the ground. And in that process, in creating decomposition, and again coming back to the basic fundamentals, the soil, the fungus, the bacteria in the ground. Without the death of the animals, you don't have the birth of the plants.
Yeah, so that is also, again, constructive rather than extractive.
It's all constructive,
they take life,
yes,
but it's an essential part to create new life through the soil.
The very basic circular flow of energy and opportunity that exists in nature creates vibrancy and productivity and resilience. The more diverse and the more stronger the flow is through the system, the more diverse nature becomes. And for me, understanding what transaction is, and coming back to the basis of what ecology means. Ecology is the study of interconnectedness, interbeing. Thich Nhat Hanh refers as the inter-R, I think.
Yes.
And what economy means, the derivative from the word eco, the root word of the word economy refers to the management of your house, of your household.
Yeah, they share oikos.
Oikos, yeah.
The house.
So it's a conservation or the smart management of your household.
Yes.
So if you apply that to the principles we're discussing, if the most fundamental territory that we have is yourself, that's your home, that's your house, that's where you live. So economy should be about managing yourself and using the integrity and the humility of nature to create opportunity with profit. How rhino society works is, and if you're walking in the bush where there are rhino territories, you find a lot of toilets. It's called a midden, and they return to the same places time and time again. And it's a territorial thing. There's a territorial function, and the dominant males, the territorial males, will scratch their feet on the droppings and then move around their territory. So they take the smell. So it's chemical information that they are moving with. Just to show you how ecological intelligence works and how maybe it's a possibility to translate this into modern world.
Yeah.
This is the water hole.
Yeah.
There, and rhino need water. That is the resource that they are looking for.
Yeah.
So in very simplistic terms, say there is a territory like this. Okay, that's Rhino 1.
Yeah.
Rhino 2's territory could be here, something like that.
Yeah.
And let's throw in Rhino 3, like that. Okay, so what's immediately apparent is that 3 rhino are sharing
one water pool.
The resource,
yeah,
the profit. So let's say, for example, Rhino 1 is over here now. And he wants to get to the water, but he's going to move across into Rhino 2's territory here. And he knows where the line is because of the chemical trail that Rhino 2 has left. So when he crosses this point, he will literally ask for permission. So in a rhino way, he'll kind of do this, and then move across, make use of the profit, have his share of the profit, and then come back home. And of course, what this does is it keeps not only 3 rhinos alive, but it keeps a vibrant system alive. So you have more opportunity for other rhino. Let's say there's a female or a group of female rhino in the area. They will be into a vibrant system as opposed to a less diverse system.
Yeah. So what we can learn from the rhinos is that by sharing, the value actually multiplies. Whereas we have the idea that, if we build this fence and I own this, that creates more value.
Yes.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It actually creates more value if you share.
The system keeps 3 rhino alive instead of 1. And if the rhino lived by that, then the rhino there would not survive. There wouldn't be enough production and vibrancy. In our modern society, in times of uncertainty, we spend a lot of time in the past, and we spend a lot of time worrying about the future. So we're living in yesterday or tomorrow or even this afternoon. And what the natural process of leadership is tapping into your own inner inspiration. So being empowered by your own self. For me, it's that simple. So what nature does, and I mean, I've spent 10 days, 2 weeks in Holland, and this is the first time I've been in a sacred space like this. It's all been in towns, in train stations, in airports, and to be out here, for me, I've immediately developed a little bit of space between yesterday and tomorrow. It's the present moment. And that's where original ideas come from. They can emerge from that moment. Innovation, original thought. If you are conscious and make yourself aware or available to information around us. Maybe make yourself available to things that you normally would not.
Yeah,
you have to become a little bit more alert. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're all occupied with yesterday and tomorrow, of course, you're not able to pay attention to what is.
Exactly, and with the speed of modern society, and with the information technology explosion, I refer to it as an ecological autism. So it's like a short circuit between yesterday and tomorrow. So we're constantly interfacing those two worldviews, and it's normally with survival in mind. We have to disassociate with that. We have to always be alert and be attentive to who we are, the human being inside of us, as opposed to the things that we've accumulated, and keep some distance between those.
And how does leadership look like in the natural world? Is there such a thing as leadership within ecosystems?
I don't. That's an interesting question. I can't say I've ever thought of it that way. I would say a lot of the exchanges and a lot of the intelligence that's happening in ecosystems is probably not conscious. Although saying that, there are some highly intelligent animals. Elephant, for example, are one. I remember seeing an elephant once. There was a tortoise, a skilpad, called it in Dutch. He was lying on his back, with his legs up in the air, and he probably would have died because of that, because they can't get back on their feet. And this elephant just tipped him over. Here's this large 5-ton animal, the largest land mammal in the world, and he sees this tortoise, and there's an indication of the process of events that's happening. He sees this tortoise, he notices that it's something wrong, and then he processes that information and makes a cognitive decision. So he turned it back on its feet.
Yeah, really pro-social.
Pro-social,
yeah. Wonderful.
And that type of intelligence, that level of intelligence is normally confined to the human animal, I think.
Yeah.
And the more time you're in nature, the more alert you become that we are just another species in the food chain.